In this lecture, we are going to start with topic number 3, that is inheritance and variation. What's the meaning of inheritance and variation? In Mendelian genetics, all living organisms reproduce and results in formation of offsprings of the same kind. These resulting offsprings most often do not totally resemble the parents. See in the diagram, you can see that the parents give birth to the young ones and these offsprings are similar to their parents. Here it shows that offsprings are similar to their parents, but some differences are there. These differences are called as variations. What I said, we are going to study about inheritance and variation. What's the meaning of inheritance? It is transmission of characters from one generation to other. That means these characters are transmitted from parent to the offspring. Even though these characters are transmitted from parent to the offspring, in all the cases you can see the diagram. Here some differences are seen. So differences between the parents and the offspring are called as variations. So in this topic we have to study about inheritance and variation. See this diagram also, it also shows the parents and their offspring. Even though they are very much similar to their parents, some differences are seen. So transmission of characters from the parents to the offspring will becomes the inheritance, and differences seen are called as variations. Now see some terminologies are there. The first one is genetics. It is the branch of life science that deals with the study of heredity and variation. Now I think it's clear for you what's the meaning of heredity. It is transmission of characters from one generation to other. And what do you mean by variation? It is the difference between the parents and their offspring. So the branch of biology, branch of life science, which deals with the transmission of characters from one generation to other and the differences among the parent and offspring, it is called as genetics. Here once again this term heredity, already we have studied transmission of characters from parent to their offspring. What's the meaning of variation? It is difference among the offspring and their parents. See these hereditary variations. These are genetically transmitted from one generation to other and hence called as hereditary variation. And next type is environmental variation, which are acquired and non-heritable. What do you mean by acquired? It develops after birth, which is not a genetical one, and hence it is non-inheritable. Here this is the photo of Gregor John Mendel, who is the father of genetics. Mendel was born into the family of poor peasant in Moravia, Austria, and lifespan is from 1822 to 1884. He gave correct explanation of mechanism of inheritance by using hybridization experiment with pea plant. Mendel was a scientist who gave explanation for inheritance of characters. Again, that is transmission of characters from one generation to other by using what? By using hybridization technique, and the plant use was pea plant. So remember that most important point, that is Mendel is considered as father of genetics. In this slide, details about the Mendel is given, not more important from your examination point of view. So Mendel worked on pea plant. He carefully analyzed the results and gave mathematical interpretation, and he published his results in Translation of Characters in the Natural History of Society of Brunn. See, this Mendel postulated the principles of heredity, which then became the fundamental law of heredity as proposed by Koren. According to Mendel, traits are not inherited physically, but by something present inside the gametic cell. As we have seen before, Mendel postulates the principles of heredity. What is heredity? Transmission of characters from one generation to other. So postulates were made by the Mendel, but it was proposed by the scientist Koren. Mendel found that something is there inside the gametic cell, something which was not discovered that what it is actually. But according to him, according to Mendel, traits means the characters are transmitted from one generation to other, not physically, but because of something which is present inside the gametic cell. So what is that actually? To this something, he coined the term factor. That means according to Mendel, something means factor is there, something is there, factor is there, which is responsible for expression of particular trait or character. What is this trait or character? We can consider the color of eye in case of human beings. If you see minutely, different colors in the eye are seen. Some have brown eye, in some cases blue colored eye is there, and some of the human being consist of brown colored eye. So brown, black and the blue colors of the eye are there. So these characters are transmitted from one generation to other. That means if the mother is having blue eye, may possible that in the offspring the color of eye is blue only. So why these characters, how these characters are transmitted from one generation to other? According to Mendel, it is because of factor. And these factors are now called as genes. Remember that genes means the factors. Before the discovery of gene, it was called as factor. And so now we can say that Mendelian factors are the genes, and these genes occurs in pair in the parents, and they segregate from each other during gamete formation. So these factors are present in pair where these genes are present in the chromosomes. And what are the genes actually? We'll see a diagram so that your ideas will be clear for that genes. So this is a diagram which clear your idea about concept of gene. Okay, so here in the diagram here, this is a cell. This internal structure blue colored is a nucleus, and inside the nucleus chromosomes are situated. So this diagram shows this chromosome, and these chromosomes are made up of genes. So gene means a segment of chromosome, and these genes are always present in pair, which are responsible for inheritance of character. So remember that this gene is functional unit of heredity. That is, from genes, because of genes only, characters are transmitted from one generation to other. Each gene is a segment of DNA that gives rise to a protein product or RNA. This point will be clear for you later on, how this segment of genes, segment of DNA is responsible for production of protein or for formation of RNA. So what to remember now? This genes means the segment of DNA responsible for inheritance of characters. These genes may exist in alternative forms which are called as alleles. What is it actually? If you are going to consider a character of height, then this character of height have alternative forms like tall and dwarf, tall and short. So we can say that these genes exist in alternative forms, and these alternative forms are called as alleles. Remember that they are present in pairs. Genes are always present in pairs, and sometimes they are present in alternative forms. Example, as I said, character is one of the character of height is there and present in alternative forms like tall and dwarf, and the genes are exist in alternative forms. So chromosomes carry genes and each chromosome consists of linear array of genes. So what is it actually? Once again we will see one more diagram. Now see, this is the diagram for homologous chromosomes. What's the meaning of homologous? Homo for same and logos for gene loci or gene position. So here this blue colored chromosome is from father side, that is paternal copy, and this purple colored is from maternal copy or from the mother side. So these chromosomes are always present in pairs. One, it comes from the father side, that means from the sperm or from the male gamete. Second is from the maternal side, that means it comes from the mother side, and they are present in pair and they are exactly similar to each other regarding their gene position. So I think you know that in case of human being, number of chromosome is 23 pairs. That means each pair consists of one of the chromosome from the mother side and one of the chromosome from father side. So once again, this homologous chromosome. Chromosomes are always present in pair. Each homologous pair consists of one of the chromosome from father side called as paternal copy. Other comes from mother side, which is called as maternal copy. I was saying that in case of human being, number of chromosome is 23 pair and each pair consists of one of the maternal chromosome and other is paternal chromosome. That means the paternal chromosomes come from the father side, that means it is transmitted through sperm, and maternal chromosomes comes from mother side, that means they comes from the ovum, as we have studied in the topic reproduction. Male gametes consist of haploid number of chromosomes, female gamete consists of haploid number of chromosomes. They unite together and results in formation of zygote, which is diploid. So this homologous chromosome means the similar chromosomes consisting of same gene position. See here segment of chromosomes are shown here. These are the segment of chromosome. Their size is exactly similar. That means these are the gene position. Okay, so this homologous chromosome, its concept is very much important. Once again we will see first diagram for the concept of gene, where these genes are situated. Here this is a cell. Cells consist of nucleus. Inside the nucleus, specific number of chromosomes are present and these chromosomes are made up of DNA, and segment of DNA it is called as genes. And as you know now, these genes are responsible for the inheritance of characters from one generation to other, which is called as heredity. So for homologous chromosome, we have seen this is one of the diagram and one more diagram is there. See again, this is the paternal homologue and this is for the maternal homologue. In a pair of homologous chromosome, one is inherited from male parent, other is from female parent. From male parent, that means coming from the sperm, and from female parent, that means coming from the ovum. Now see, this diagram shows a genetic locus is the location of particular gene on a chromosome. At each genetic locus, an individual has two alleles, one on each homologous chromosome. So what is this allele? Here see, it is letter P is there, which designate presence of allele. That means two alternative form of a gene. Here both are similar. Capital P is used. That means both these genes are similar to each other. So here letters small r is there. That means gene R, this is the position for this gene R, present in pair, and both are similar. That means they are homologous to each other, homozygous to each other. Here capital P is there. That means it is also homologous to each other. It is also similar. This gene pair is also similar, that is homozygous. But here letter capital C and small c is there. This condition is called as heterozygous. So you can see that Homologous chromosomes means the same chromosomes. Same in which respect? Same in the position of genes, and these genes are responsible for same character. So, if the gene pair is similar, it is called as homozygous. As the capital letters are used, it is homozygous dominant. Here small b, small letters are used. Hence, we can say that it is homozygous recessive. Here, one of the letter is capital C, other is small c. That means it becomes heterozygous gene pair. Okay, so homologous chromosome with respect to their gene position and the form of gene. I think it's clear for you. Now we are going to start with the next part. Directly we will see the monohybrid cross, and I think after studying the monohybrid cross, your ideas about the various terminologies will be clear. So we will see a diagram for monohybrid cross. What is the meaning of this monohybrid cross? This monohybrid cross means the cross. See in the diagram, it's very clear for you. One of the plant is here, this is the tall plant, and this is the dwarf plant. This capital T is used for tall plant. That means it is a dominant character. Small t is used for this dwarf plant, which is a recessive character. I think it is clear for you now why these letters are used in pairs. Because we have seen that chromosomes are always present in pairs, and on these chromosomes genes are also present in pairs. So this pair of gene is responsible for a character. So what we have considered here, a character of height is considered. So for this character of height, two alternative forms are present. One of the alternative form is tall plant, and genes responsible for this is capital T. And this another form is dwarf plant, and gene responsible for this is small t. When these two plants are crossed, in this crossing, the next step is your gamete formation, and during gamete formation, meiosis takes place. We have studied in the topic of reproduction. So when gamete formation takes place, these two genes are get separate from each other. So one of the gametes shown is here capital T, and in this dwarf plant here small t are the gene pair which is get separated from each other, and in one of the gamete only small t is get entered. So this is the homozygous tall plant, and this is the homozygous dwarf plant. For homozygous tallness, capital T is responsible, and for homozygous dwarf plant, small t is responsible. During gamete formation, separation of these genes takes place, and only one gene will enter into the gamete as it involves meiotic division. So because of meiosis, because of reductional division, in gamete only one gene is present. So these gametes, they unite together in the process of fertilization. So this capital T and this small t unites together and results in formation of a plant having genotype capital T, small t. So this capital T, small t, when this type of genotype is there, the plant produced both are tall. Why these two plants are tall? Because this capital T, it is a dominant gene which suppresses the character of shortness. So when we got this type of hybrid condition, hybrid means heterozygous condition, capital T, small t, then because of capital T gene, which is a dominant gene, these two plants are tall only. So what we have studied, this is a parental generation. See, this is a parental generation. In this parental generation, we have considered a tall plant and a dwarf plant. When these two plants are crossed together, the resulting generation will become F1 generation. What is the genotype? All are capital T small t. All plants formed are capital T small t. And hence, phenotypically, all plants are tall. So we have got now this F1 generation. Now we are going to cross this hybrid plants with each other. This hybrid tall plant crossed with this second hybrid tall plant. What's the meaning of hybrid? It is heterozygous. Means what? Having capital T and small t as a genotype. Capital T, small t as a genotype. When these two plants are crossed with each other, next step will be what? The next step will be the gamete formation. So during gamete formation, these genes are get separated from each other. So in one of the gamete, this capital T, this gene will get enter, and in other gamete, small t enters. Similar is the condition here also. Capital T in one of the gamete and small t in another gamete. In the process of fertilization, here this square is shown here, where capital T combined with this capital T. So both capital T are present, responsible for tallness. This capital T combines with this small t. So capital T, small t. Again this capital T combined with this small t. So capital T, small t is the condition. And at last this small t combines with the small t and results in homozygous recessive condition. So what is the phenotype for that? When capital T are present together, tall plant will form, as we have studied earlier. This capital T, small t genotype in these two plants, we have got these two plants with capital T, small t genotype. So this will be the tall plants, and in one of the condition we have got both recessive, or we can say homozygous recessive. This will be the small, or we can say the dwarf plants. So we have got one pure tall, two hybrid tall, and one pure dwarf plants. So what is the genotype? Genotype is capital T, small t, two plants, and small t, one plant only. That means 1:2:1 ratio if you are going to study genotypically. Phenotypically, the tall plants and dwarf plants. We have got 3 tall plants and only 1 dwarf plant. So ratio is 3:1. This is for the understanding. We'll see it again. Now see, same thing is in different manner is explained. Monohybrid cross. What is it actually? Mendel's first law is based on this. What is this monohybrid cross? A cross between parents differing in only one heritable trait is called as monohybrid cross. So what is it? A cross between what? Parents. These are the parents. Tall and dwarf plant are the parent plants, differing in one heritable trait. Which is the heritable trait? Here it is the character of height. So character of height is a trait, and tall and dwarf are the alleles, or we can say that parents differing in one heritable trait. So when these two plants are crossed together, different in one heritable trait or in one pair of character, then it is called as monohybrid cross. So phenotypically, tall plant is crossed with dwarf plant. So when this tall plant is crossed with dwarf plant, what is the genotype here? For the tallness, capital T, homozygous dominant, and for the dwarf plant, small t, that is homozygous recessive plant. So here the gamete formation will be taking place. So from this tall plant, gamete form will be consisting of capital T, and here the dwarf plant will be showing small t. So when these two gametes, capital T from the tall plant and small t from the dwarf plant, unite together, it results in formation of capital T, small t type of plant having genotype capital T, small t, and because of this dominant nature of capital T, the plants produces all are tall. So we can say that tall is dominant to dwarf, and the generation formed is called as F1 generation, or it is called as first filial generation. When this F1 progeny is self-pollinated, that means when heterozygous tall plant is crossed with the same plant, that is with capital T, small t genotype or the hybrid tall plant. So this table, it shows what? Here this is the capital T, one of the gamete formed from this hybrid, and small t is another gamete from this hybrid tall plant. Second side is also for the second plant, which is hybrid tall. So the gametes formed are capital T, small t. So here, when this capital T combined with this capital T, here pair of capital T or the homozygous tall plant is get formed. When this gamete capital T combined with this small t, here the heterozygous tall plant is get formed, or we can say hybrid tall is formed. When this gamete having small t gene combines with this capital T, it will be capital T, small t, again a hybrid tall plant is get formed. And when this small t combines with this small t, here there will be dwarf plant form. So what is the phenotypic ratio? Phenotypic ratio, that means the physical appearance, external appearance of that plants. 3 are tall and only 1 is dwarf. We can say that the ratio is 3:1. And what is the genotypic ratio? Here pure tall is only one plant. Here one plant is pure tall. These two plants are hybrid tall. So this 2, and only one is pure dwarf. So this is 1. So we can say that genotypic ratio is 1:2, 2:1. So what is phenotype? Phenotype means the external appearance of the plant. And what is genotype? Genotype means the gene pair responsible for the external appearance of the plant. So we can see the phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio. See here, one of the square is shown. This is called as Punnett square or checkerboard. What is this Punnett square or checkerboard? This board, it shows probability of different permutation and combinations of fertilization between gametes of the opposite matching types. What it shows? Permutation and combinations of the fertilization. Here it is very clear. One of the plant which is hybrid having gametes like capital T and small t. This is second plant having gametes like capital T, small t. So this type of combinations are formed here, and this combination, from this we can say that what is the phenotypic ratio and what is the genotypic ratio. Why this monohybrid cross is explained in between? Because I think that if this monohybrid cross is clear for you, terminologies based on this will be easy to understand. Okay, so we have studied first of all. Once again, we will repeat here. See, we have started with this topic, Mendelian genetics. All living organisms reproduce and produces offsprings, and offsprings are not exactly similar to their parents, but in many respects they are similar to their parents. So these differences among the parent and offsprings are called as variations. This picture is only to see the variations between the parents and offspring. That means difference between the parent and offspring is there, which are called as variations. And the study of Heredity and variation is called as genetics. Heredity is transmission of characters from one generation to other. We can say from parents to offspring. Variation means difference among the offspring and their parent. Here, some variations are heritable. That means they are genetical and transmitted to the next generation. Some are non-heritable. That means which are acquired during the lifetime. Then we have studied about the Mendel. Question of 1 mark can be asked. For example, on which plant he worked, what type of experiment was performed by the Mendel, and who is the father of genetics. It can be asked. Where he born. Later on, about the experiments of this Mendel and his method of working, that is very mathematical interpretations are given by him. Then Mendel postulates the principle of heredity, and then these principles of heredity will becomes the fundamental laws of heredity. Then what are the factors and what are the genes? During the Mendel's time, these were not exactly discovered, and hence according to Mendel, something was there which is responsible for the inheritance of character, and that something was called factor by the Mendel, and later on it was called as genes. Mendel's reason for success, their explanation, I will explain it later on. After that, we have studied about this monohybrid cross. Monohybrid is the cross between two parent plants differing in only one heritable trait, or we can say differing in one pair of character. Here we have taken the example of this tallness and dwarfness, that is a character of height, and this tallness and dwarfness are the alleles of each other. So because of crossing of these two plants, this tall and dwarf plants forms the parental generation. Because of crossing of these two plants, we will be getting F1 generation, and when the plants of F1 generation are self-crossed, we will be getting next generation, which is called as F2 generation. So what we have studied here, F1 generation. What is the meaning of F1 generation? It is the first filial generation and consists of all offsprings produced from parental cross. We have seen here F2 generation. This one, F2 generation. It is second generation produced by selfing of F1 generation offsprings. So this F1 generation, and this is the F2 generation. So in this cross, what we have seen, in the F1 generation, the progeny which are formed are always hybrid, and in F2 generation, phenotypically we will be getting the ratio 3:1, and genotypical ratio is 1:2:1. And for the understanding of all this thing, this concept of gene is very much important. So we have seen this is a cell with nucleus. Inside the nucleus, these chromosomes are there, and these chromosomes are made up of DNA. And this segment of DNA, it is called as gene, which is the functional unit of heredity. We have seen that these genes are present in pairs. Why these are present in pairs? Because chromosomes are present in pairs. Morphologically and genetically similar chromosomes are called as homologous chromosomes. That means these two chromosomes, they have similar type of genes functionally, as well as their positions are also similar. So I think your ideas about the homologous chromosomes and Mendel's monohybrid cross is clear. Further part we are going to study in the next lecture.